Masechah Sotah Daf Lamed Tes. The Gemara says that Kivan Sheniftach Sefer Torah also l'sapa afilu b'divrei Torah. Tosfos asks a kasha from the Gemara in Brachos Daf Ches that Reb Sheshes was mahada apei v'goris, and Tosfos says numerous terutzim, ein shurim in Brachos Daf Ches that umayrich, and many terutzim in Rishonim to explain the steering sugis. Ein Sefer Emek Bracha declares an interesting chakira, the gabi this halacha that one can't speak once the Sefer Torah is open, that he says that the Gemara in Kedushin Daf Lamed Gimel learns out that one has to stand up for a Sefer Torah, and covet of a Sefer Torah is learned out from a Kal V'chomer. So the Emek Bracha says if it's learned out from a Kal V'chomer, then it would follow that since Kal V'chomer is deraisa, so covet of a Sefer Torah is deraisa. So the Emek Bracha declares if this halacha that one can't speak while the Sefer Torah is open, is it machmas covet of the Sefer Torah? So then it is deraisa. Or it's not machmas kovid of Sefer Torah itself, rather it's machmas kovid of the mitzvah of Kriyas HaTorah, and the kovid of the mitzvah of Kriyas HaTorah is not necessarily a chiyuv midaraisa. And the Emek Bracha says that according to what's mavur in Rabbeinu Yerucham, that the same way one can't speak while the Sefer Torah is open, the same thing pertains at the time of Kriyas Maftir. You can't speak because of the same halacha of our Gemara, and Nevi'im don't have Kedusha Sefer Torah, that the chiyuv covered of the Nevi'im are deraisa. So you see it's not machmas the covered of a Sefer Torah midiraisa, rather machmas the covered of the mitzvah of Kriyas Sefer Torah. So the same thing pertains by the Kriya of Nevi'im as well. V'ayin shamoit. Moving further on, the Gemara says, Amr Shebalevi kol koyin shloi notal yodov lo yises kapov shenema su yidechem kodesh uborchas Hashem. There's a tremendous machlokes rishonim in the get of this halacha. Tosfos over here brings the shittas Rashi that we don't have. The Rashi says that it's referring to a kohen that wasn't neitel yod of shachris. He didn't wash netilas yadayim shachris, so he can't be neise kapov before he's neitel yadayim. And Tosfos says many kashas on this mahalach. He says it's referring to you weren't neitel yod of shachris, so then besides netilas yadayim for birchas kohenim, you have to be neitel yod of for Kriya Shema and brachas. And why specifically is it mentioned the chiyuv netilas yadayim for birchas kohenim? So Tosfos says it's a din mesuyim that even if someone has clean hands and he washed his hands before the davening, nevertheless there's a din mesuyim that you have to wash your hands for birchas kohenim. Ein the Beis Yosef that learns that the Rambam holds like this yesh meforshim of Rashi that Tosfos brings, that the chiyuv netilas yadayim for birchas kohenim is not an independent chiyuv right before birchas kohenim, rather it's referring to someone that wasn't neitel yod of shachris, because the Rambam says one of the 6 things that are ma'akiv birchas kohenim, someone that has Tumas Yadayim. Tumas Yadayim is not mashma someone that had already netilas yadayim. The Beis Yosef is medayik because the Rambam and Gabi Hilchas netilas yadayim for Suda, the Rambam says even though your hands are torn, nevertheless you have to wash your hands for the Suda. And the Rambam doesn't write like that. But Hilchas Nesias Kapayim, it's mashma, it's referring to someone that didn't wash his hands in the morning, and he cannot duchen before he washes his hands. And the Beis Yosef answers Tosfos' kashas on these Rishonim. The wise are mentioned specifically netilas yadayim for Nesias Kapayim. Typically you need netilas yadayim for Kriya Shema and other brachas. He says the nafkamina is for other brachas it's enough to clean yourself. B'midi demanki, you could rub your hands. B'shas adchak, you don't need specifically netilas yadayim. However, for Nesias Kapayim you need netilas yadayim. And it says another nafkamina, if it's not clear that there's a hesech hadas for the shmir of your yadayim, for other halachas you could put your hands on chazaka that's Torah. However, for Nesias Kapayim you can't be mukim your hands on the cheskas kashus. Eine Shulchan Aruch that paskin, since it's machlokes Tosfos and Rambam, if one has to wash his hands specifically for tilas yadayim, if his hands are already tar, if he washed at the beginning of davening, therefore we wash the hands of the kohenim without a bracha. And the Magen Avraham is ma'orer on the Shulchan Aruch, because it comes out as Machlokes, Tosis, and the Rambam, and if he clearly a Messiach Das from the status of the Tyrus Yadayim, then even according to the Rambam, then you have to wash your hands with the bracha. So the Magen Avraham says that comes out there'll be a situation that you could be in a Safek brachas, because if you clearly Messiach Das, you need a bracha l'kuli alma, and if you wasn't clear that you Messiach Das, it's totally machlokes rishonim. So the Magen Avraham says it's better to make sure that from the beginning of davening you're not Messiach Das, so therefore kuli alma you don't need a bracha. However, the El Yerabah says it's not muskar rishonim priv bracha on the washing your hands for duchening. So the El Yerabah says it's mashma and the rishonim that there's no chiyuv bracha for netilas yadayim for nesias kapayim, and he says it could be that Chazal weren't mesakin a chiyuv bracha on netilas yadayim for nesias kapayim, and the Mishnah Berurah brings the machlokes Magen Avraham and El Yerabah. It's tzorich ian the understanding of El Yerabah that Chazal weren't mesakin a chiyuv bracha on netilas yadayim. It's mashma there's a specific chiyuv bracha on each mitzvah with tzorich ian bezeh, and we have to understand what's the beer in the machlokes rishonim. I in the beautiful Sefer Ali Ber from a Goyner Israel Katz Shlita that explains that the machlokes rishonim is the chayra totally in the geder of the chiyuv netilas yadayim for birchas koyanim. The Beis Yosef b'teich Tvorov says that since it's mavur in the Rambam that the chiyuv netilas yadayim for birchas koyanim is like a kohen to do avodah, and a kohen when he did avodah in the Beis Hamikdash, he didn't come and make a new kiddush yadayim from the kier by every avodah. He made a kiddush yadayim at the beginning of the day, and that was mahani for the entire day. So who did when someone makes an netilas yadayim at the beginning of davening, you don't need an independent netilas yadayim for birchas koyanim, because it's all part of tefillah, it's all part of avodah. And the Sefer Ali Ber says that it could be that the machlokes Tosis and the Rambam is goof in this nekuda. Is the chiyuv netilas yadayim because of the avodah, or it's not because of the avodah in birchas koyanim? Rather, it's a din mesuyim on the bracha of birchas koyanim that the Rambam learns is mitzad avodah, and therefore it's comparable to avodah in the Beis Hamikdash. You don't need a specific bracha at the time of nesias kapayim because it's all part of the avodas hayom. However, Tosis learns that's not because of the avodah, rather it's halacha mitzad that the bracha of birchas koyanim is mechayon netilas yadayim, and he brings from the Sefer Or Avraham in brachas that proves from a miri that there is a chiyuv netilas yadayim before you make a bracha, and the Miri brings a raya from Al Gemara by nesias kapayim. So you see that the chiyuvas netilas yadayim before birchas koyanim is a chiyuv because of the bracha of birchas koyanim. It's not midin avodah. So therefore, yeah, even though you made it netilas yadayim at the beginning of davening, according to Tosfos, you have to wash your hands before nesias kapayim. And the Sefer Ali Ber says in different mahalach that it could be that the machlokes Tosis and the Rambam is totally the geder of the mitzvah of nesias kapayim. That means, according to the Rambam, the mitzvah nesias kapayim is a chelik of the mitzvah tefillah, so therefore it doesn't need an independent netilas yadayim. However, according to Tosis, nesias kapayim is not meshich shayich to the mitzvah of tefillah, and he says, according to this, it's mavur that the Magen Avraham is going l'shitase, because the Magen Avraham Teich Dvorov that we mentioned before says clearly that he holds like Tosis and not like the Rambam, and he holds you need a new netilas yadayim before birchas koyanim. And Be'emes Netziv says a tremendous yesod in Hamek Shaila that we mentioned the yesod hadvorim from Avi Moivi Shlita and the Shir in Megillah Daf Chav Zayin, that the Netziv is miyased that there's two independent halachas in the mitzvah of nesias kapayim. There's halacha, there's a din of a bracha, and it's also a tefillah. And he brings that the Magen Avraham says that if a kohen is davening for the Amud, then it's considered a hefsek for him to go and duch in the middle of his tefillah b'tzibur, and only when there's no other kohenim could the shatz duchen. And on that, the Netziv argues very strongly. He says that nesias kapayim is a tefillah, and it's like tefillah shmona esrei atzmo, so therefore it's not considered a hefsek b'chlal in the middle of shmona esrei. So you see that the Magen Avraham holds it's not a tefillah. So the Magen Avraham L'Shitose holds that Nesias Kapayim is not a tefillah, rather it's a brachos. Therefore, the Magen Avraham L'Shitose holds that's a bracha and it's independent. Halacha, it's not Meshach Shayach to tefillah, so therefore needs Netilas Yadayim. However, the Rambam holds it's a chelik a tefillah, and therefore it does not need Netilas Yadayim. And Aliber is Meirich to bring more Marmakoyim to this Nakuda that in the Machloikis, Toisis, and Rambam is if the Netilas Yadayim, if the Birchas Koyanim could get pattered by Netilas Yadayim of Tefillah, and he brings from Ben Avram, the son of the Rambam, the Cholkim on the Rambam are Mekel in the Netilas Yadayim for Tefillah, and therefore they hold you need a new Netilas Yadayim. However, the Rambam holds that you could be Yotze with Netilas Yadayim for tefillah, and he brings a Malbim. Marzachayim says that the Machlokes Tosfos and Rambam is totally in what the ged of mitzvahs netilas yadayim is for tefillah. Does it need a netilah to the end of the hand, or is it enough netilas yadayim to kishet spoisov? Tosfos holds you just need a netilas yadayim for kishet spoisov. So therefore, for nesias kapayim, you need a netilah on the entire hand. However, according to the Rambam, since netilas yadayim for tefillah until the entire hand, so therefore you don't need independent netilas yadayim for nesias kapayim. Ein oid the sefer Birchas Yitzchak, they mentioned the Shi and Tainis Daf Chavov that learns b'das Rambam that the chiv nesias kapayim is a chelik of tefillah, so it's also hativ. The Shitose that Rambam holds, you don't need independent netilas yadayim. It's akati tzorich, because the Rambam is arguing the gabi nesias kapayim and avoid the Beis Mikdash as well. The tzorich oid bezeh.